Welcome to Determined to Succeed. I'm your host, Dawn Mallarney, also known as the Unique Connector. So I'm so excited to have Kelly join me today. I love to kind of reminisce of how did Kelly and I even meet? So we met in a parking garage after an event of Madison Professional Women for Good. And from then on, I feel like we've clicked so well because we realized we were on maybe a similar journey, but also a little different. And so, Kelly, I would love for you to even talk about how did you meet Dawn that day? And what was your thoughts when you met me that first day in the parking garage?
I love it. I know what a what a weird way to meet maybe, but not so weird. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
been at an event and we were there for a couple hours and our paths hadn't really crossed. And then as we were leaving, one of our mutual connections introduced us. And, it was a quick like, hi, this is who I am. And I think there was some sort of a connection. And we
Yeah.
pretty quickly had a second conversation. And you're right. Like, I think that the parallels of what we've been experiencing with our careers and even where we are in our life, we found that we had a lot of things in common.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I just love how we can meet people in different circumstances. And then too, something clicks where you're like, oh, you are so similar to me, or maybe we're a little different. And that's where I feel like an instant friendship too, where I just am like, now I'm in touch with you often. And so Kelly, you're on an entrepreneur journey, kind of like me, where we're navigating this new life and realizing maybe some of the corporate habits that we've created or were created on us. So I would love to even kind of talk about your entrepreneur journey and how it's been going when we're thinking about habits, I guess you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was in the corporate world for probably about 20 years.
Mhm.
And the world that I thought I was actually going to stay in for a very long time. In my head, I thought that entrepreneurship and consulting was for the tail end of your career. Like you've made it, you know so much knowledge, and then you gift it back to people. Little did I know you could do it at a much earlier time frame than end of your career. But I I have been in the corporate world of sales for the most part, commercial space, but done a lot of different things. And when you talk about that habit in the commercial world is I'm going to be in the office because let's go pre-COVID when there really wasn't this hybrid. I'm going to be in the office at maybe 8 a.m. in the morning. And then I am going to be working and not shutting off the clock until 5 o'clock. And you're a lot of times your workday extends even further than that. And then maybe you're dabbling in working a little bit at night. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm working too much. But that was what I was used to. And then going into the entrepreneurial world, I have held that habit. I've been in it now for a year and I've held that habit until recently when I finally realized I am doing this to myself. I actually can give myself the freedom to work when it works for me. And I don't have to be tied to this institutional way of thinking that it has to be an 8 to 5. Now, you still have to be available for your clients when your clients
Yep.
need you to be available, but arguably, it's not the same as when you actually work within an organization.
Yeah. It's almost like you feel strapped to your desk almost, or someone's over your shoulder looking at you and punching the clock, making sure you're getting all your hours in. And so I feel like it's been a journey for me too of realizing these habits that I have where, oh gosh, I can break these habits. Nobody's holding me accountable to this anymore. And so what maybe steps have you done recently to really make yourself think outside of these habits that we've created of ourselves?
I'm still working on it, work in progress, but
Yep. Similar.
a couple of things that I've done is I like to be active. So I have started to take a workout class in the middle of the day and not feel bad about it
Mm.
and do something that is for me because it works for my schedule. I've been being a little bit more available for my kids and trying to go to their events, which were during the day. And before I'd be like, I can't go, I have to work. Well, I don't need to have that mentality anymore. And also sometimes work on the weekends. But for me, that's okay because that's what fits into my schedule. And it's I want to work on the weekend. So I'm going to, not I need to work on the weekend because I didn't get it all done during the week. So I think those are some things that I've tried to do for myself, just to relinquish that habit. And again, work in progress. I think it's gonna take time.
Yeah. Well, and I realize too, sometimes I have more energy at certain times of the day where before too, I feel like, I don't know if you're similar, but I'd go to work and I would get in this grind where I'd just be work, work, work. And then, it'd be lunchtime and I'd be like, well, I can't take lunch, I got to keep working. I'm in the groove right now. And so I would never leave my desk or I would be eating at my desk all the time. But I think it's just something too where now you kind of understand when you have that energy or you need that mental break to really focus in on what you're trying to accomplish and get done and not have those distractions. And so I feel like it's work in progress. So I'm proud of us for taking that step away because it's not always that easy transition. And I think that's for even two transitions. When you hear that word, you've had a lot of transitions. So, you know, what do you think of when you hear that word transition? Because you kind of had an interesting transition into the entrepreneur world.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of transition itself, it's big change. I guess it doesn't have to be big change, but considering that's been a bit of my life recently, it is big change. And so I call myself an accidental entrepreneur, and I'm sure other people say that too, but I really truly feel that way because I was in a corporate role that I absolutely loved. And I loved the company that I worked for. I believed in the company. I believed in the mission. I went to work every day showing up as my best self
Mm,
because I wanted to do really good work for them. And I made a lot of pivots at that organization and found that when things got tough for the company, decisions had to be made, hard decisions. And one of them was to eliminate my position and my team's position.
mm,
And I became that person that lost their role, lost their job at an organization. And that was life changing for me, first of all. And it's even hard to say it because there comes this just way of thinking when you hear somebody's lost their job. And whatever biases those are, or however, we think about that phrase, is different in individual based on your experience. And so when I lost my role and my team lost their roles, I quickly went into kind of mama bear of, okay, well, I'll figure out my stuff later and I want to help my team.
mm,
And what can I do to network, to have conversations, to influence where I can so that they will be okay, whatever okay meant for them. And then once I got through that, it was like, okay, now I probably need to figure out what I'm doing with myself. And I had choices. It wasn't that I was just completely lost and had nowhere to go. There were absolutely choices. So that made it even harder because I had to make a hard choice. Someone gave me the great opportunity to come and do a consulting job, and it was a full-time one, but it still was owning my own business and doing my own thing. And I remember saying to him, I have no idea how to do this.
mm.
And he was so um so helpful to me. And he was just trying to give me the confidence that I could do it, give me the confidence that I had a skill set that worked very nicely for what he needed. He had worked with me in the past. And so I said yes. And I held my breath through the whole thing. But it was something where I always want to do things that are going to make my brain hurt. I want to do things that challenge me. And I felt like taking this leap, although so incredibly scary, was something that I had to trust the process. I had to trust that whatever this is supposed to be, or however something is supposed to end up, it will happen. And so all the scariness and feeling very unsure of myself for, I mean, I'm going to go for a year. because I still have my days where I wonder, did I do the right thing? I could have taken a different role inside of the organization, and I chose not to. And I second guessed that many, many times. I don't think that there's a right or wrong. I always believe in you have to follow your gut. And my gut
Mm,
was telling me to do the scary thing. And I have to keep reminding myself that because sometimes there's more bad days than good,
yeah.
but I keep pushing towards having more good days than bad. And knowing that you can always take a pivot back. There are always organizations that will find your talent very useful. There are ways to go back to what's comfortable, but I'm proud of myself for doing the uncomfortable because I think the growth that I'm going to feel through it and have felt is something that can't be replicated by staying within the safe environment of an organization. So I tell that story because one, I want to share something really hard that happened to me when I started to tell people that I lost my position. I could not believe the amount of people that had had the same experience. It's kind of one of those things you don't talk about,
Yeah.
but other people experience it. And so there was this feeling of, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. And one more thing I'll add on it. So I remember one of the leaders at the organization calling me right after it happened and said, I know what you're thinking right now, but don't take it personally. It was a business decision. And although I hear that it's a business decision, for anyone that says it to you, it feels so personal.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to separate that. You start doubting everything that you did. You start thinking, well, if I had done this differently, if I had aligned myself differently, if we had gone in this direction, would I still be in this situation? And so I have learned the most from this change versus anything else that's happened in my career. And I share it because if anyone else is in this situation and has all these feelings, it's okay. It's okay to have all the feelings. It's okay to get let go from an organization. It's okay to turn up on the other side in an even better spot.
Mm. Well, thank you for being brave and telling your story. And I know, how do you not take it personally? And how do you not overanalyze yourself and think, what did I do wrong? Or what could I have done? Or how could I improve? Or, maybe next time I should try this. And I think that's where it's just, there's no guarantee, no matter where you're at, no matter how loyal you are, no matter how hard you work, there is business decisions that have to be made. And I think it's just another reminder to us all of just, you can't ever give up and you always got to keep going. And I think how you even said earlier too, like, oh, should I have taken this position? Oh, should I have gone it this way? Or, should I have tried this? But I think no matter what, there's always decisions and there's always different paths. And I know if you wouldn't have taken this path, you would be just doing the same thing. You'd be questioning it, or, deep down, sometimes we don't want to regret it. We want to try it. We want to work our brain hard. And I think that's where you and I have been similar in learning things where we're like, yeah, we like to kind of be challenged. Sometimes it's really uncomfortable. Some things aren't always, you know, perfect rainbows and wonderful. But it's like, I would rather try this than regret it and never try it again. Or, never experience it and never get challenged. So
Right.
I'm very
Yeah.
proud of you.
Well, thank you. And in the last year, the amount, now that I can reflect back and things become a little bit clearer when you look back, the amount of things that I've learned from doing this, from the tactical things about how to run a business to just the breadth of knowledge that I've been able to gain,
Yes.
and some of that like true confidence, because I'll tell you, when you lose your job, you lose a lot of confidence. At least that personally happened for me. But growing my confidence back to maybe where it used to be, because I realized I do have these skills that have carried from the experiences that I've had in the past.
Mhm.
And just trusting that you are a strong, fierce individual that can really do anything you set your mind to.
Well, I love that. And I love too when you were reflecting about it. Of course, what do? We always think of everybody else. Oh my gosh, my team, how am I going to help them? You know, who do they need to be connected to? And we sometimes, like they always say, put your mask on first, but we
Mhm.
don't do that. We are always thinking of everybody else. And it was interesting as I'm sitting here listening to you, where, you focused on them and then you finally focused on you. But then
Mhm.
you were just talking about how, the person that you knew focused on you too,
Mm.
and I think it's the part of the giving. And sometimes it's really hard to receive, where that was uncomfortable for you of like, well, I don't have everything figured out. Are you sure? And, I think it's always a learning opportunity, and it helps build our confidence by helping other people, but then also receiving. And, you know, as you've reflected on this journey, what's been even a pivotal moment for you where you're just so dang proud of yourself for switching gears and maybe even trusting him to take that leap?
Oh, there's been so many of them, but I think one that I can really remember, something that really helped me move forward versus stand still. I felt like I was a little bit in quicksand for about 6 months of this
Mm.
decision. And I think it was the point where I decided I am going to move forward to this next chapter. It did take me 6 months of being my own boss and owning my own business to realize, like, I want to turn the page and I want to be a part of this 100% all in. Before that, I wasn't 100% all in.
Mhm.
I was so unsure. I was still trying to network and connect with people at corporate companies. When I talked to some of my closest mentors and my executive coach, it was all about, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I can't decide. And I'm big on, like, make a choice. You have to make choices, but I couldn't take my own advice.
Mhm.
And there was one of my mentors that called me up and had a conversation with me that just was really impactful from what I was trying to hold on to. And it almost got to this point where he was like, if you want to do that, then go do it. And had to get pretty blunt with me, where I got off the phone and I realized, wow, I have to figure out what I want, because right now I'm so wishy-washy and somebody is trying to tell me, like, do this or do this, but figure it out. And I just didn't want to see it. I needed a little bit of tough love to then let go and move forward with my business versus try to hold on to the organization I had been in, or try to find a new home within a company. So it was really hard, but I would say the tough love worked for me, and I probably had the tough love come my way several times, but I had to be ready to hear it, and that was the time that I was ready to hear it.
Yeah, and I think it's hard when it's us. And where before we'd be able to make an easy decision like that when you're in a company for some reason, do you take this or this? But it's
Right.
some reason when it's us, it's like a harder decision to make. It's almost like you're looking for that validation from somebody else also, even though it's that hard love of just someone telling you, you got to pick this or this. But it's like that person's validating it for you, that, you know, you just need that because you need an outside perspective. When it's just us, we can muddle through that for a while in our head. And so, you know, I love how you've had these neat transitions and these interesting habits too that we both have been learning about ourselves. And so even for our listeners that are maybe going through something similar that you went through, what is something that you would even want them to hear right now that you wish you would have almost heard too, even though you had that hard love and the validation? But what's something else you would have loved to have heard that maybe we haven't talked about? Yeah.
I think one of the things that I have said to people I've mentored or people that I have led on teams is, I'm always going to push you. And I think of this analogy of, you're on a bridge and you're standing at the edge, and I'm going to push you off, but you're going to have a bungee cord. There is Surround yourself with people that will hold your bungee cord. They won't let you fall. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of confidence in yourself, but knowing that you have this support system that's always there to fling you back up is something that can help you get through, like I said, the good days, the bad days. It really helps you get through the bad days. and turn up the next day and realize there's a new opportunity every day. And I get the choice to show up the way I want to show up. And as long as I'm supported and I've sought out the people that will hold that bungee cord, then I really am safe and I really can take the risks and I really can make my brain hurt. And there's no negative confidence or negative consequences with that.
Ooh, that's great. And I always love the visuals because I'm like, see, there was a reason we met in that parking garage because I feel like we're holding each other and accountable, but also pushing each other. And I feel that it's just another reminder to us to be open to new friendships, new people around you that's going to help build that connection, that community and relationships because we can always learn from each other, but we can also push each other. And I think that's where I'm thankful we met because it's been really fun to even see your progression in the last, I don't know how long we've known each other, maybe 6 months now, but I'm like just seeing the growth.
Yeah.
And it's been a fun journey so far. And I'm excited to see even the next 6+ months and the bungee cord. So I love that so much. So what if our listeners want to get in touch with you, my dear? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, the most prominent is probably on LinkedIn. I have a page on there, Kelly Month, just through LinkedIn. And then my email is kellymonth at bettertobestbykelly.com, because my business is better to best. And that's all this idea around how do we develop ourselves to go from better to being the best version of what we want to be, or pushing ourselves to be that, to be better in who we are. So that's where you can find me. And Dawn, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate that we did get to meet, and I love that we hold each other as bungee cords.
Well, I would say I'm so proud of you and keep shining bright. And I'll make sure to share her email and connect with her because I feel like this was a big vulnerable step for you today and to be proud of yourself and all that you've accomplished. And also, too, the listeners probably needed to hear this, just a reminder that things can happen, but deep down, things happen for a reason. And look at you shining bright right now. So I'm really proud of you and I appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you so much.